Want to double your e-commerce store's revenue in 30 days or less? Today, I'm going to show you how I helped a pure funnel client not only double their revenue, but also improve their profit margins in less than 30 days. I'm Sean Bacastow, and over the last 10 years, I've driven over $50 million in online sales using Meta ads. So first, let's talk about this client's overall results. So in less than 30 days, we improved revenue by 132%, purchases by 35%, AOV by 20%, conversion rate by 67%, and ad spend by 92%. And we achieved these numbers without changing the product, the offer, or the pricing. I can't tell you too much about the client because I want to protect their anonymity, but I'm going to give you a little bit of background so that you have some context. First off, this product we were selling is a D2C physical product in a niche market. It's a Shopify store, and they had been running ads for a few months when I took over the account, so they had some existing data and some existing results. So in less than 30 days, we doubled the revenue, we increased orders, increased ROAS, AOV, and site conversion rate. And this is what that looked like. So essentially, this is the last week that they ran the account by themselves. So this is before I took over. And then this is the last week of data prior to Black Friday, Cyber Monday. We ran a promotion during that time, so I didn't include that data here. It would just be unfair. So this is the best apples to apples I could get at the time of this video. First off, you'll notice the big change. We more than doubled revenue, which is phenomenal. We drove more purchases, yes, but we also improved our return on ad spend. We improved our average order value, and we improved the site conversion rate. I'm gonna walk through all of these and explain the changes we made to achieve these results. So in order to achieve those results, we wanted to focus on three primary things, which were to increase the amount of qualified people coming to their website, increase the site conversion rate, and increase the average order value. And to improve these metrics, we improved the product page, we improved our ads, and we increased our ad spend without losing any margin. We actually improved the margin. Here's how we did it. So the first thing we focused on was improving the product page and increasing our conversion rate. And the reason we focused on this first was because we felt it was the highest leverage change that we could make to increase our revenue. You can think about it this way. Let's say you are sending 100 people a day to your website. If you double your site's conversion rate, you have just doubled the amount of orders that you receive from those 100 people. So making product page changes can be extremely effective. So the first thing we did was we changed the default pricing option, which was they have two pricing options. It's the same product, but two pricing options. They were defaulting to the lower tier option. By simply changing the default option, we added $22 to our average order value, which means that we could then spend $22 more to acquire each purchase. It's a huge, huge improvement. The second thing was they only had one product image on the site, and it was a pretty bad product image. It was the product against a white background, and I felt that it didn't really convey how big the product was, how it's properly used. So the first thing we did was add more images. So we had 5 or 6 images. They were bigger on the page, so they took up more real estate on the page. We made it clearer what the product is, why someone should want to buy it, how it's used, because each image is used to convey something different. The first image is, the image with a few benefits. The second image, maybe it's someone using the product. The third image, it's like a product with a backdrop. The fourth is the product with some features pointed out, some things like that. So we introduced a lot of high quality images, which improved the site conversion rate. We changed the page layout, so we added new information. We took some information away. We changed the ordering of sections. We focused on things like how the product works, who the product could be used by, what are the benefits of the product, what are the features of the product. They had a lot of information on the page that just didn't make it any more likely for someone to complete a purchase. So we went through and we viewed everything through the lens of, did this thing earn its way onto the page? Is it going to meaningfully improve our product page conversion rate? And then, like I said, we added more product info. The second thing we did was improve our ads. So now we felt that we had the ingredients for a really great product page, the conversion rate would be higher, which it was substantially. Now we need to get better at sending qualified people to our site for cheaper. So that's where our ads come in. And the first thing I did was I changed the conversion event. So they were optimizing for add to carts rather than purchases. Best practices, optimizing for the event you actually want the person to take. Meta is very literal, so I switched it to purchase. I set up a new campaign. It was Advantage Plus targeting with audience suggestions. I used some custom audiences from a data provider that I subscribe to. It was credit card data of people who had bought products that were similar to my clients' products. So I think, by the way, that I could have not done that and it would have been totally fine. But I felt like because it's a niche product, I wanted to provide the Advantage Plus targeting with a starting point that it could learn from, but that certainly wasn't the needle mover here. I also introduced new video ads from their social channels, so they were only running static ads. I, like day one, went into their social channels and repurposed some of their social posts. They had actually some pretty solid video content. I made a few edits, so I edited down a few videos and ran them as ads. Also, they were sending traffic from the ads to their homepage, and I switched that to send it straight to the product page, and we just added some of the information that was on the homepage to the product page because when in doubt, make people click less. So I typically try to only have the person take one action before the purchase, so send them straight to the product page. We generated new ad creatives, so new static ads, new video ads, like I mentioned. We also launched Google Ads, which they hadn't been running previously, but the spend on Google to this point has been insignificant relative to Meta. So Google Ads introducing the new channel was not the needle mover here. I do like to have both running. There's a synergistic effect. Maybe someone is on their phone, they see a Instagram ad, they're like, hey, that product's interesting. And then maybe 2 days later, they think of the product and they are on their MacBook. So they open the website on their MacBook and they Google the brand name and they check out via a Google ad. And it's, you can start people top mid funnel on Meta, and then maybe they'll, check out bottom funnel on Google. So there's a good synergy between those two channels. So a few takeaways from this experience for me and for you is that a good product trumps everything. So I'll be the first to admit that this is a fantastic product. I usually say ads are not the fire, but they're a great fuel for the fire. So if you have a good product, you have a good offer, ads can do wonderful things for your business, and it has literally changed their business and lives in less than 30 days. So it's very cool to be a part of. The second takeaway is that there's a hierarchy in terms of like what are the most important optimizations and changes that you can make within an e-commerce business when it comes to advertising. The first is your offer or product. Like if you make a product change or you make an offer change, which like let's say you bundle your product with 2 other free gifts or another product, something like that, those are massive changes, and that's going to trump pretty much everything. The second most impactful change you can make is the landing page, is your product page. Because like I said, if you double your conversion rate, you've just doubled your orders. So very high leverage change. In this instance, they already had a really good offer and a really good product, so we didn't bother with that. We went straight to the landing page because that really needed work, and that had huge effects for the business. The third most impactful change you can make is really focusing in on your ad creative. So doing research to understand why it is that people should care about your product, what they like about your product, what value it brings to the table, and then coming up with ways to communicate that effectively to potential customers. Things like creating better static ads, creating better video ads. The fourth thing is refining your ad account structure. So this is the least impactful change you can make, but it's still very worthwhile and very impactful because this alone drove a lot of performance. Like I switched their account structure from running 2 static ads in separate ad sets. I created a new campaign, Advantage Plus targeting. I had one ad set rather than two, which is better, because then the ad sets aren't bidding against each other in the auction. Your audience isn't being fragmented. And then rather than just running 2 ads, I started running 6 ads and testing 6 ads against one another, letting them compete for budget, replacing the losers with new ads, and keeping the winners on. So those 3 changes, the landing page plus the ad creative plus the ad account structure, are what produced these amazing results for the client. They've been super happy. I've been super happy. It's been really fun. The third takeaway is that if you improve your AOV, you can scale your ad budget. And this is so key, because I think a lot of advertisers forget that things exist outside of the ad account. The changes you make on your landing page are going to trump what you do in the ad account, typically. So us improving the AOV by changing the default pricing option was a change that took 5 minutes, and it gave us an extra $20+ to go out and acquire new purchases. So it was a very impactful change. Similarly, our fourth takeaway, if you improve your site conversion rate, you can scale your ad budget. So suddenly our landing page, our product page, was 67% more effective than it was the day before or the week before. And that meant that for every dollar we were spending on our ads, they're now, each dollar 67% more effective. So it became easier to acquire customers. The fifth takeaway is just that we accomplished these results with a very simple campaign structure. So 1 campaign, 1 ad set, 6 live ads max at any given time, pausing losers, letting the winners run, and rinsing and repeating. So if you'd like me to design, write, and manage your ads so that you can achieve results like the ones we just talked about, click the link to my website in the description below and book a free strategy call with me. And if you learned something, make sure to check out my other video where I talk about the only campaign that you need to scale your e-commerce store. It's the same campaign structure that I use to help this client, and I go in depth about the theory behind it, how to set it up, and how to have success with it. Till next time.